Know your place, girl. Victoria Harrington's voice sliced through the chatter like a blade, her fingers already clawing at Sophia's collar. The black maid's uniform tore with a vicious rip, exposing skin to the gasps of 50 elite guests. Sophia's chest heaved, her fists clenched at her sides, nails digging into palms to stifle the scream rising in her throat. Victoria's eyes blazed with contempt, lips curling into a sneer. You think batting those lashes at my son makes you one of us? You're nothing but hired help, and don't forget it. Sophia's jaw locked tight, her dark eyes meeting Victoria's without flinching, though humiliation burned like acid in her veins. Ma'am, I only served the wine, she started, voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. Shut your mouth, Victoria snapped, yanking harder, the fabric giving way further, threads snapping audibly. Guests shifted uncomfortably, whispers erupting like sparks. Did she just... In front of everyone? A senator averted his gaze. A socialite clutched her pearls. But Victoria pressed on, her grip iron. Pretty face won't hide your roots, Harlem trash. Alexander's too good for your kind. Sophia's breath caught, rage coiling in her gut, but she held back, shoulders squared against the assault. The tear widened, cool air hitting her exposed shoulder, sending a shiver down her spine. She bit her lip hard enough to taste blood, refusing to crumble. I never... Enough! Victoria cut her off again, shoving Sophia back a step, the maid stumbling but catching herself. The room fell deathly quiet, forks clattering forgotten on plates. Alexander Harrington rose from his seat, his face a mask of fury, veins bulging in his neck. He strode forward, jacket already off his shoulders. Mother, stop this now! Victoria whirled on him, eyes narrowing to slits. Stay out of it, Alexander. She's poisoned your mind with her sly ways. But he ignored her, draping his jacket over Sophia's torn uniform, his hands gentle on her arms, steadying her. Sophia's eyes met his, a flicker of gratitude amid the storm, her heart pounding wildly. Victoria's cheeks flushed crimson, her voice rising to a shrill pitch. You defend her? Over your own blood? Alexander's reply came low and lethal. I defend decency, something you've forgotten. The guests murmured louder, shock rippling through the crowd like a wave crashing. Sophia stood there, jacket warm against her skin, but the wound to her dignity festered deep. Victoria's glare promised more venom, her fingers still twitching from the tear. Alexander's stand hung in the air, a fragile shield against the brewing fury. Sophia's fists balled tighter, knuckles whitening as the jacket settled over her shoulders. But the rip in her uniform stung like an open wound, fabric dangling in defeat. This isn't right, she muttered through gritted teeth, her voice a low rumble that cut the silence sharper than any shout. Tears pricked her eyes, hot and unbidden, but she blinked them back fiercely, refusing to let them fall in front of this crowd of strangers who saw her as nothing more than spectacle. Victoria lunged forward again, her hand raised like a claw. How dare you speak back? Pack your things and get out, now! The words spat out, venom dripping, her face twisted in triumph, expecting collapse. Sophia straightened her spine, chin lifting defiantly, the weight of generations of endurance surging through her blood. You'll regret this, she said, her tone even, laced with quiet steel that echoed like a prophecy in the hushed room. No plea, no outburst, just those words, heavy as iron, hanging in the air. She shrugged off the lingering stares, her heart hammering against ribs, betrayal twisting her insides like a knife. Alexander's hand tightened on her arm, protective, but she pulled away gently, not wanting his pity to define her. Don't, she whispered to him, eyes flashing warning amid the pain. Guests shifted, murmurs swelling. She's got spine. Victoria went too far, but Sophia ignored them, turning on her heel, steps measured and deliberate, each one a silent rebellion against the humiliation clawing at her soul. Victoria's laugh barked out, sharp and forced. Go on, run back to your slums. But Sophia didn't flinch, didn't turn, her back a wall of unyielding grace as she pushed through the double doors, the rip flapping mockingly with every stride. Outside, the cool night air hit her face like a slap, but she kept moving, jaw set, vowing inwardly that this tear wouldn't break her. It would forge her stronger. Alexander watched her go, his chest tight with rage and regret, the room's eyes now boring into him. Victoria's smirk faltered slightly, a crack in her armor, but she masked it with another snide remark. Good riddance. Yet Sophia's parting words lingered, a shadow over the opulent chaos, promising storms yet to come. The door clicked shut behind her, sealing the moment, but the fracture it left gaped wide, ready to swallow secrets whole. Alexander's fist slammed the table, silverware jumping as his glare locked on Victoria. "You've crossed every line tonight," his voice thundered, echoing off the crystal walls, guests frozen in their seats, breaths held tight. Victoria recoiled, her hand flying to her chest, but defiance flared in her eyes. "She's beneath us, Alexander. Can't you see? Harlem filth trying to claw her way up." He stepped closer, towering over her, pulse racing in his temples. "Beneath us? She's got more integrity in her silence than you've got in your entire empire." Whispers exploded around them. "He's right. Victoria's lost it." A businessman nodded subtly, his wife gripping his arm. Alexander spun away, storming toward the study, his mother's protests chasing him like barbs. "Come back here. We're not done." The door banged shut behind him, sealing out the chaos, but fury boiled inside, his breast ragged. He paced the room, shelves of leather-bound books mocking his family's facade. "Damn it," he growled, yanking open a drawer in Victoria's desk, papers scattering like confessions. Files tumbled out, old records from the family foundation, yellowed edges curling. His fingers snatched one labeled "Scholarship Applications Denied." Sophia's name leaped off the page, bold and undeniable, her photo clipped to the form, young, determined eyes staring back. "What the—" He scanned the details. Harlem address, top grades in art, essay pleading for a chance after her parents' death in that freak accident. Denied, stamped by Victoria's own hand. His stomach twisted, guilt knifing through him. "She applied to our fund, and Mother buried it?" Deeper in the file, a crumpled letter slipped free, ink faded, but words sharp. "The Harlem crash wasn't random. Check the brakes on those trucks. Foundation cuts corners, lives lost." Unsigned, dated years ago, it reeked of buried truth. Alexander's grip crushed the paper, heart slamming against ribs. This can't be coincidence. He shoved it into his pocket, mind reeling. Sophia's pain tonight, now tied to this shadow from the past. Victoria burst in, face flushed. "What are you doing in my things?" He whirled, holding up the file like a weapon. "Denying her a future? Is that how we build our legacy?" Her eyes widened, color draining, but she snatched at it. "That's none of your concern. She doesn't belong." "Wrong," he snarled, pulling back. "This proves she's earned more than your scorn." The room thickened with tension, her breath hitching, his resolve hardening like steel. Guests' voices filtered through the door, the party's remnants crumbling. Alexander pocketed the letter tighter, a seed of doubt sprouting roots. Whatever this meant, it demanded answers. The night hung heavy, secrets whispering of storms ahead, pulling him toward Harlem's shadows. "I won't let you destroy her!" Alexander's shout exploded in the study, his fist crumpling the denied scholarship file as he hurled it at Victoria's feet. She snatched it up, nails scraping paper, her face contorted in rage. "You chase after that maid? Over your legacy? She's poison!" He shoved past her, shoulder clipping hers hard, sending her staggering. Legacy built on lies, like denying her shot because of her skin? Door slammed, echoing through the mansion, his boots pounding down the hall. Victoria's curse chased him. Foolish boy! But he ignored it, keys already in hand, engine roaring to life in the driveway. Tires screeched as he peeled out of Hampton's gated enclave, city lights blurring into streaks on the highway to Harlem. Heart thundered in his chest, knuckles white on the wheel, mind replaying Sophia's defiant exit, her words, "You'll regret this," searing like a brand. "I have to find her," he growled to the empty car, weaving through traffic, horns blaring as he cut off a truck. Harlem's streets swallowed him whole, neon signs flickering on brownstones, Groups huddled on stoops eyeing his luxury sedan like an intruder. He parked crooked, slamming the door, breath fogging in the chill air. "Where is she?" he muttered, striding into a corner bodega, bell jingling harshly. Clerk behind the counter, an older man with salt and pepper hair, narrowed eyes. "You lost, suit!" Alexander leaned in, voice urgent. "Sophia, from the Harrington house. Know her?" The man crossed arms, jaw set. "Why? You the one who hurt her?" Alexander's gut twisted, shame flooding him. "I need to apologize, please." A pause heavy, then the clerk jerked a thumb. "Try the community center down the block. But if you're trouble—" "Understood." Alexander bolted out, feet slamming pavement, pulse racing. Center's doors loomed, fluorescent buzz inside, voices murmuring. He burst in, scanning faces. Kids at tables, elders chatting. A woman in braids approached, arms folded. "Can I help you?" Her tone dripped suspicion. "Sophia, is she here?" Alexander's words rushed out, sweat beading on his brow despite the draft. The woman hesitated, eyes flicking to a back room. "Who's asking?" He pulled out the crumpled file, holding it like evidence. "Alexander Harrington. I know what my mother did. I have proof she deserved better." Whispers rippled through the room, heads turning. The woman sighed, pointing. "She's in the back, teaching art. But tread careful. She's fire tonight." Alexander nodded, throat tight, pushing through the door. There she was, Sophia, surrounded by canvases, brush in hand, guiding a teen stroke. Her uniform mended roughly, but the tear's memory lingered in her stiff posture. She looked up, eyes widening, brush dropping with a clatter. "You!" Her voice cracked like a whip, stepping back. "What do you want?" Alexander held up hands, voice breaking. "To say I'm sorry. For everything." She crossed arms, chin high. "Sorry doesn't mend what's torn." He advanced a step, pulling the file from his coat. "This does. Your application, my family denied it unfairly. I supported the fund anonymously, but Mother—" Sophia's breath hitched, snatching the papers, fingers trembling as she scanned. "This was years ago, after my parents—" "I know," he pressed, voice low. "The accident. I'm digging deeper." Tears glistened in her eyes, wiped away fiercely. "Why now?" Alexander met her gaze, unflinching. "Because you deserve truth, and I won't stop until you have it." Friends hovered nearby, one stepping forward. "He for real, Soph?" She nodded slowly, walls cracking. "Maybe." But doubt lingered in her stance, fists still clenched. Alexander's resolve burned hotter, the unsigned letter in his pocket weighing like lead, a clue to unravel more. They talked low, voices overlapping, her questions sharp, his answers raw. Hours blurred, coffee cooling in styrofoam cups, stories spilling, her Harlem roots, his suffocating wealth. A neighbor interrupted. "Cops outside, rich boy's car drawing eyes." Alexander tensed, but Sophia touched his arm. "Go, but come back with answers." He nodded, exiting into the night, determination stealing his spine. Back in the car, engine revving, he glanced at the letter again, words blurring. "This crash, it's connected." Highway lights streaked past, pulling him toward revelations buried deep. Harlem's lights fading, but her fire igniting his path forward. "Back off, or I'll make you." Sophia's voice cracked like thunder in the community center's back room, her paintbrush slashing the air as she confronted a burly man blocking the door, his sneer dripping disdain. "You think because you're from uptown, you own this place? Harlem's no playground for rich boys chasing skirts." The man, a local enforcer with tattoos snaking up his arms, lunged forward, breath reeking of cheap liquor. "That Harrington punk just left. What's he want with trash like you?" Sophia's eyes blazed, fist clenching around the brush handle until wood creaked. "None of your damn business." She shoved him hard, shoulder connecting with his chest, sending him stumbling into a stack of canvases that toppled with a crash. Kids scattered, wide-eyed, but Sophia knelt instantly, gathering a fallen painting, her hands steady despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. "It's okay, everyone," she said, voice softening to steel wrapped in velvet, pulling a teen close. We don't let bullies win here. The boy nodded, fear melting under her gaze as she wiped a smudge from his cheek. The enforcer recovered, growling. You act tough, but you're just a maid in ripped clothes. Seen the pics online. Victoria tore you apart. Sophia rose, spine ramrod straight, humiliation from the night flashing in her mind like lightning. Torn clothes don't tear spirit, she snapped, stepping into his space, breath hot on his face. Now get out before I call the crew. He hesitated, eyes flicking to the gathering neighbors. Elders with crossed arms, youths cracking knuckles. This ain't over, he spat, retreating through the door with a slam that rattled frames. Sophia exhaled sharply, chest heaving, but she turned back to the group, masking the quake in her knees. Class resumes. Who's next for blending colors? Hours blurred as she guided hands over easels, her own strokes fierce on a canvas depicting shattered chains, black and gold intertwining like her rage and resilience. Art heals, she told a girl with braids, fingers gentle on the child's wrist. Even when the world tries to break you? The girl smiled, but Sophia's mind raced. Alexander's visit, the file exposing denied dreams, her parents' crash haunting like ghosts. A friend, Lena, pulled her aside during break, eyes sharp. That rich boy stirred trouble. Enforcers tied to shady deals. Maybe your folks' accident? Sophia's jaw tightened, nails digging into palms. Coincidence? Or more? She paced, heart pounding, replaying the unsigned letter's words in her head from Alexander's hurried explanation. Brakes failed. Foundation involved. Lena gripped her arm. Don't dive alone. You've built this haven, teaching these kids, feeding elders. You're our rock. Sophia nodded, but fire burned in her gut, refusing to dim. She distributed sandwiches from the fridge, laughing with an old man about old Harlem tales, her warmth masking the storm inside. We rise, she whispered to herself, stacking plates with deliberate force. As night fell, center emptying, Sophia locked up, keys jingling like chains. Alone in the dim light, she traced the mended tear in her uniform, fingers lingering on stitches. Regret this? They'll all regret. Determination hardened her features, a vow etched in every line. But the letter's shadow loomed, pulling her toward alliances unformed, truths waiting to erupt. Footsteps echoed outside, a familiar engine hum approaching, Alexander returning or danger circling. She gripped the door handle, ready for the fight. Get out of my face, Harrington! Sophia's shout ripped through the center's dim hallway, her hands slamming the doorframe as Alexander burst back in. Engine hum still fading outside. He froze, palms up, but she advanced, eyes flashing like daggers. You waltz in here twice, stirring up enforcers and ghosts from my past? Think your sorry fixes that? Alexander's jaw clenched, stepping forward despite her shove. I came back because that letter, it's no ghost. Your parents' crash ties to our foundation's cuts. I dug records on the drive. Trucks are skimped on brakes for profit. He thrust a phone screen at her, emails glowing, internal memos stamped with Victoria's signature. See? She signed off. Sophia snatched the phone, fingers digging into the case, breath hitching as her words blurred through unshed tears. Profit over lives. My folks died hauling for your charity gig. She hurled the phone back, it clattering on the floor, screen cracking. Alexander bent to grab it, but she kicked it away. Don't touch. You think showing this erases the rip in my uniform? The stairs. Harlem whispers about me now. That maid who got shredded. He rose, face inches from hers, voice low and fierce. It doesn't erase, but I'm owning it. Apologize. Hell, I'll scream it from rooftops. Mother humiliated you to keep control. Over me, over everything. Sophia's fist balled, swinging at air near his chest. Control? She denied my scholarship because I was beneath. Black girl from the blocks dreaming too big. Alexander caught her wrist gently, holding firm as she tugged. I funded that program blind. Never knew she vetoed you. Now I do. Sorry isn't enough. Let's burn it down. She yanked free, chest heaving, but paused, walls cracking under his gaze. Burn what? Your empire? Start with truth, he pressed, pulling the crumpled letter from his pocket, unfolding it with trembling hands. This note, anonymous tip from years back. Foundation cuts corners, Harlem crash, no accident. We confront her together. Sophia's eyes narrowed, snatching the letter, scanning faded ink. Confront? She'll crush me harder. Not if we hit first, Alexander countered, voice steel. But you call shots. What conditions? She paced, nails biting palms, mind racing. Kids' faces from class flashing, her mended uniform itching like a scar. Fine. Peace? On my terms. 1. Public apology from you. At your next gala. Name me, name the denial. He nodded sharp. Done. She jabbed a finger. 2. Fund this center. No strings. Art supplies. Scholarships for these kids. Alexander's eyes lit. Already drafting checks. Her voice dropped, lethal. 3. Dig deeper on that crash. If Victoria's hands are dirty, expose her. No mercy. Agreed, he said, extending a hand. She stared, then gripped it hard, knuckles whitening in the shake. Betray me? I'll end you. Tension hung, electric, their breaths sinking in the silence. But as hands dropped, Sophia's fingers brushed the letter again, spotting a hidden fold. A tiny receipt tucked inside, dated the crash day, stamped Isabella Rossi, foundation consultant. Who's Isabella? Sophia demanded, unfolding it, eyes widening. Your fiancé? She's on this? Alexander grabbed it, face paling. What? She handled audits. This receipt, brake parts ordered cheap. Shock slammed him, betrayal twisting his gut. She's in on it? With mother? Sophia's laugh barked out, bitter. Peace conditional on truth? Starts now. We hunt her down. He nodded, fury matching hers, pocketing the receipt like ammunition. Together? No turning back. They stood shoulder to shoulder, the center's hum fading, but the receipt's shadow stretched long, whispering of alliances forged in fire and deceptions waiting to shatter. Footsteps echoed from the street, Lena bursting in. Trouble outside. Isabella's car just pulled up. Sophia's grip tightened on the letter, ready for the storm brewing beyond the door. Stay away from my fiancé, you slum rat! Isabella's screech pierced the center's entrance as she shoved through the door, heels stabbing the floor like knives, her designer coat flapping wildly. Sophia spun, receipt clutched in her fist, eyes narrowing to slits. Your fiancé? This receipt screams you're knee-deep in blood. My parents' blood. Isabella lunged, nails raking air, inches from Sophia's face. Lies, that paper's a nothing. Trash like you. She snatched at it, but Sophia jerked back, crumpling it tighter, knuckles bleeding white. Alexander stepped between them, chest barreling into Isabella's path. Back off, Isabella. What's this about cheap breaks? You audited the foundation, signed off on cuts? Her laugh exploded, shrill and cutting. Audited? I saved us millions. Your bleeding heart would have bankrupted the family. She jabbed a finger at Sophia. And her? Slinking around, batting eyes at you? She's after the money. Harlem gold digger. Sophia's fist swung, connecting with Isabella's arm in a sharp slap. Gold digger, you killed for profit. Isabella reeled, rubbing the red mark, venom spewing. Killed? Accidents happen. Poor folks in junk trucks. Blame their luck, not me. Alexander's face twisted, betrayal slashing deep, his hand grabbing her wrist. Luck? This receipt ties you to the order. Cheap parts from your contact. Mother put you up to it? Put me up? Isabella yanked free, eyes blazing triumph. Victoria and I built this empire while you played hero. We cut corners to thrive. Your precious Maid's folks were collateral. She advanced on Sophia again, breath hot. Now drop it, or I'll bury you deeper than them. Sophia's knee jerked up instinctively, grazing Isabella's thigh, forcing her back with a yelp. Lena burst in from the side room, phone raised like a weapon. Recording this. Cops on speed dial. Isabella whirled, snarling. You think a video scares me? I'll sue this dump shut. But doubt flickered in her stance, heels scraping as she retreated a step. Alexander pressed forward, voice lethal. Confess, or we expose you both. Isabella's smirk returned, cold as ice. Expose? With what? That scrap? I shredded the real files ages ago. She flipped her hair, turning to Alexander. Choose, darling. Me and the life you know, or this intruder. His silence thundered, fists clenching until veins popped. Sophia touched his arm, fire in her touch. She's bluffing. We dig harder. Isabella laughed again, backing toward the door. Dig! You'll hit rock, my rock. She slammed out, engine roaring away, leaving the air thick with her perfume and threats. Sophia unfolded the receipt again, fingers trembling. She's in league with Victoria, deeper than we thought. Alexander nodded, jaw set. We tail her. No mercy. Lena pocketed the phone. Got her face clear. Allies incoming. Tension coiled tighter, their alliance hardening against the web Isabella spun, clues pointing to shadows yet unveiled. Hand over those files or I'll snap your neck. Isabella's threat snarled over the phone as Alexander slammed it down, his fist denting the community center's table, splinters flying. Sophia grabbed his arm, nails digging in. She's tracking us. Knew we had the receipt. We move now. Alexander nodded, eyes storming, yanking open his laptop with a click that echoed like a gunshot. Start with her contacts, that cheap parts order. Trace the vendor. Fingers flew across keys, pulling up foundation databases hacked via his insider access, passwords cracking under pressure. Sophia leaned in, breath hot on his neck. There, Rossi Imports, her family's firm. Invoices match the crash date. Lena burst in, tossing printed maps onto the table. Warehouse in Queens. Old foundation storage. Witnesses say trucks were serviced there. Sophia snatched one, folding it sharp. We hit it tonight. No waiting. Alexander's jaw tightened. Risky. Isabella's got guards. She shoved him. Risk? My parents rotted for this. Let's bleed answers. Car tires screeched as they peeled out. Harlem streets blurring into Queens' industrial sprawl. Engine roaring defiance. Warehouse loomed dark. Chain link fence rattling under Alexander's bolt cutters. Metal snapping clean. Sophia slipped through first. Flashlight beam slicing shadows. Heart slamming ribs. Over there. File cabinets. Drawers yanked open. Papers cascading like confessions. Break logs. Falsified. Alexander hissed, scanning sheets under the beam, fingers tracing forged signatures. Isabella's handwriting, skimped on quality to pocket the difference. Sophia's breath caught, ripping a page free. And Victoria's approval stamp. They laundered it through charity events. A noise echoed, footsteps crunching gravel outside. Guards! Lena whispered from the door, phone glowing with hacked cams. Sophia dove behind crates, pulling Alexander down, their bodies pressed tight, pulses sinking in terror. Guards' boots thudded closer, radio crackling. Intruders? Check Sector 3. Beam swept over them, missing by inches. Sophia's hand clamped over Alexander's mouth, her eyes locking his. Silent command, hold. Guard passed, door creaking shut. They exhaled, scrambling up. More. Witness statements buried, Sophia growled, stuffing files into a bag. Zipper rasping loud. Alexander photographed fast, flash muted. One name repeats, Marco, mechanic who quit after the crash. Harlem address. Sophia's fist pounded the cabinet. We find him, now. Back in the car, engine gunning, they raced to Marco's rundown apartment, knuckles rapping door like accusations. Door cracked, Marco's weathered face peering out, eyes widening. Harrington, get lost! Alexander wedged a foot in. The crash, brakes. You fixed them cheap. Talk. Marco yanked them inside, door slamming, gun drawn from a drawer. You idiots! Isabella threatened my family, said shut up or die. Sophia stepped forward, unflinching. She killed mine. Proof? Marco's hand shook, lowering the weapon. Tapes, in my safe. Recorded her orders. Safe clicked open, cassette tumbling out, labeled Rossi Cuts. Sophia grabbed it, fingers trembling. Play it, machine whirred, Isabella's voice crackling. Skimp on brakes, save thousands. Accidents happen. Victoria in background. Approve it. Foundation thrives. Alexander's face drained, betrayal knifing deep. Mother, complicit. Marco shoved them toward the door. Take it and run. They're coming. Sirens wailed distant, closing fast. They bolted, bag heavy with evidence, tires smoking escape. In the safe house, a dingy motel, they pored over it all, connections snapping like fuses. More witnesses, Lena said, dialing contacts. Old driver, says payoffs to silence families. Sophia paced, nails gouging arms. Payoffs? My aunt got hush money, thought it was insurance. Alexander pulled her close, grip fierce. We link it all, expose the web. Calls poured in. Another mechanic confirming cuts. A banker tracing laundered funds. Files stacked high. Timelines drawn in Sharpie on walls. Arrows piercing names. Isabella's text buzzed Alexander's phone. Stop digging or join the crash victims. He smashed it against the wall, shards flying. She knows we're close. Sophia's laugh cut sharp. Let her come. We arm up with truth. Night wore on, coffee burning throats, eyes bloodshot but unyielding. A final call. Banker whispering, offshore accounts. Victoria's sign-off on deaths as collateral. Sophia's scream ripped out, fist through drywall. Collateral? My blood! Alexander caught her, holding tight as sobs racked her frame. We end this. Evidence piled, unbreakable chain forged in pain, leading straight to the heart of the empire. But sirens grew louder outside, shadows shifting, Isabella's hunters closing in, forcing the hunt to turn deadly. Confess, you monster, or I'll carve it out. Sophia's knife-edge voice slashed through the motel room as she pinned the banker's photo to the wall, marker stabbing names like wounds. Alexander rewound the tape, Isabella's words crackling again. Cut the brakes, collateral's just numbers. Victoria's echo. Approve. Empire first. Sophia's fist smashed the player, plastic shattering. Numbers? My parents were flesh, bleeding out in that wreck. She whirled on Alexander, eyes ablaze. Your mother orchestrated it all. Deaths to cover embezzlement. Foundation funds siphoned to offshore vaults. He staggered back, hand raking hair, scalp burning under fingers. Offshore? The banker's logs, millions vanished post-crash, blamed on accidents to dodge audits. Lena burst in, slamming a folder down, papers flying. Confirmed. Victoria signed kill orders disguised as cost cuts. Isabella executed, pocketed kickbacks. Sophia's breath exploded, knees buckling. But she caught the table edge, nails splintering wood. Kill orders. They murdered to hide theft. My folks hauling charity loads, trucks rigged to fail. Alexander grabbed the folder, scanning redacted lines, veins throbbing in his neck. Here, emails chain, eliminate loose ends. Her signature. Isabella's reply, done, crash reported. Rage boiled over, Sophia's kick sending a chair flying, crashing into the wall. Loose ends. Families silenced with payoffs. My aunt took the cash. Thought it mercy. Alexander's face crumpled. Betrayal gutting him. Mercy? They betrayed the foundation's core. Charity twisted into slaughter for greed. Lena jabbed the map. More. Witnesses paid off. One suicided. Ruled accident. Pattern repeats. 3 crashes. All tied to cuts. Sophia's laugh tore out, hollow and sharp. Pattern. Genocide for profit. Targeting Harlem routes. Black drivers disposable. She slammed fists on the table, knuckles bleeding. Your family's empire built on our graves. Alexander dropped to his knees, hands clutching the tape shards. I funded blindly, thought it helped. But this treason against everything. Tears streaked his face, wiped savagely. We have proof. Expose them. Burn it down. Sophia hauled him up, grip bruising. Burn? We'll torch their world. Public. No escape. Files scattered as they pieced the final link. Victoria's master plan. Embezzle millions. Rig accidents to destroy evidence. Isabella as enforcer, covering tracks with more blood. It's genocide masked as mishaps, Lena hissed, circling names. Dozens dead, fortunes stolen. Sophia's eyes locked on Alexander's. Your bloodlines rot. End it. He nodded, steel forging in his spine. I will. But a knock pounded the door, fists like thunder. Open up! Isabella's men! Sophia grabbed the bag of evidence, shoving it under the bed. Hide it! Fight! Door splintered inward, goons charging, fists raised. Alexander tackled one, elbow cracking jaw. Sophia swung a lamp, base connecting skull with a thud. Chaos erupted, bodies slamming walls, grunts and curses filling air. Lena dialed frantic. Cops! Now! But revelation hung heavy, truth a weapon sharper than fists, propelling them into the fray with unyielding fury. Evidence secure, but hunters closing, the full horror unveiled demanded reckoning, swift and brutal. Die, you nosy bitch! The goon's roar exploded as his boot kicked the motel door off its hinges, splintering wood like bone, gun barrel glinting under the harsh bulb. Sophia dove left, shoulder slamming concrete, pain shooting up her arm, but she rolled up, grabbing a shard of door as a makeshift blade. Come get me, she snarled, slashing air, eyes locked on the thug's scarred face. He charged, fists swinging wild, connecting with her side in a crunch that stole her breath, ribs protesting fire. Sophia gasped, doubling over, but kneed his groin hard, his groan ripping out as he crumpled. Filthy maid, Isabella said, end you. Another goon piled in, tattooed arms wrapping her neck from behind, chokehold tightening like a vice, air squeezing out. Alexander tackled him, elbow cracking skull with a wet thud, bodies tumbling in a heap, fists flying. Touch her again, I'll kill you, Alexander's voice thundered, knee pinning the man's chest, punches raining down, knuckles splitting skin. Sophia coughed, lungs burning, scrambling for the evidence bag under the bed, fingers clawing carpet. Lena swung a chair, legs cracking against the first goon's back, him whirling with a bellow. Stay down, she yelled, but he grabbed her wrist, twisting until she screamed. Bone popping. Sophia lunged, shard stabbing his thigh, blood spurting hot on her hands. Back off, my friend, the goon howled, releasing Lena, staggering back, but pulled a knife, blade flashing. Collateral, just like your folks, he spat, lunging at Sophia, knife slicing her arm, fabric tearing anew, blood welling fast. Pain blazed, but she headbutted him, forehead cracking nose, cartilage crunching. He reeled, knife dropping with a clatter. Alexander finished his foe with a choke, rising bloody, eyes wild. Where's Isabella? The wounded goon laughed through blood. Boss lady's coming. Finish what Victoria started. Sirens wailed closer, but doors burst again. Isabella stormed in, gun drawn, heels grinding debris. You traitors! Alexander, step away from that trash! Her finger twitched on the trigger, aimed at Sophia's chest. Sophia stood defiant, arm dripping red, evidence bag clutched. Trash? You rigged murders for cash. Exposed now, Isabella's laugh barked. Exposed! I'll bury the proof with you. She fired, bullet whizzing past Sophia's ear, embedding in wall plaster, exploding. Alexander charged her, wrestling the gun, arms locked in struggle, grunts filling the room. Fiancé? You're poison, he growled, knee to her gut, her gasp sharp as gun skidded away. Isabella clawed his face, nails drawing blood trails. Victoria's plan, perfect till you ruined it. Sophia kicked the gun further, diving for it, but Isabella's boot stomped her hand, bones grinding pain. Die already! Lena, arm dangling limp, grabbed Isabella's hair, yanking back hard. Not today! Isabella elbowed her throat, Lena gagging, collapsing. Chaos peaked, bodies slamming, breaths ragged. Sophia wrenched free, gun in grip now, pointing shaky. Stop, or I shoot! Isabella froze, eyes narrowing hate. Pull it, ruin your life too. Alexander pinned her arms. No, cops take you. Sirens deafening now, lights flashing through windows. But Isabella smirked. Think it's over. Final proof's hidden. Victoria's safe. You'll never find it. Struggles ceased as cuffs clicked outside, but her words lingered like venom, Evidence incomplete, danger pulsing onward. Hand over the gun or I blow your head off. Isabella's shriek cut through the siren's wail as she broke free from Alexander's pin, lunging for the weapon in Sophia's grip, nails gouging her wrist deep. Sophia twisted away, arm throbbing from the fresh slice, blood slicking her hold, but she fired a warning shot into the ceiling, plaster raining like shrapnel. Back down! Cops are here! Isabella reeled, face contorted fury, but snatched a fallen knife, slashing wild at Sophia's thigh, blade nicking fabric and skin. You ruin everything! Die! Pain flared hot, Sophia stumbling, but Alexander barreled into Isabella again, slamming her against the wall, breath exploding from her lungs in a wheeze. Enough! Where's the final proof? Cops stormed in, boots thundering, shouts overlapping. Freeze! Hands up! Flashlights blinded, guns drawn. Sophia dropped her weapon, palms skyward, heart jackhammering. We're victims. They attacked. One cop cuffed Isabella, her curses spitting. Idiots! I'm Harrington's fiancée. Release me. But Alexander waved them off. Arrest her! She's killer! In the chaos, Lena clutched her broken arm, whispering through gritted teeth. Evidence! Grab it! Sophia dove for the bag, yanking it free, files spilling but clutched tight. Cops hauled the goons out, one groaning from his stab wound. Talk later, a detective barked, but Alexander flashed his ID. Harrington, let us search her car outside. Proof's there. Isabella laughed maniacally, wrists twisting in cuffs. Search? You'll find nothing. Victoria hid the master ledger. Sophia's eyes locked on her, rage boiling. Ledger? Offshore accounts? Deaths logged? Isabella clamped shut, but too late. Slip confirmed. Cops dragged her out, sirens blaring anew. Outside, under flashing lights, Alexander popped Isabella's trunk, gloves on, rifling through bags. Here, laptop. He cracked it open, password bypassed with a guess. Her birthday. Files loaded. Foundation black book, encrypted. Sophia leaned in, wound, ignored, fingers flying on keys. Break it. Use the receipt code as key. Click. Unlocked. Pages scrolled. Ledgers detailing embezzlements, crash orders, payoffs itemized like groceries. Millions siphoned. My parents' names crossed out. Collateral cleared. Sophia's voice cracked, fist pounding the hood, denting metal. Alexander scrolled deeper. Victoria's digital signature on every kill. Isabella's notes. Cover with accidents. Lena, arms slung by paramedics, snapped photos. Undeniable. Emails to hitmen disguised as mechanics. A cop peered over. This real? We'll seize it. But Sophia copied files to her phone first, thumbs blurring. Our insurance. Alexander found a hidden drive in the glove box. Videos. Isabella barking orders in warehouses. Victoria nodding approval on calls. Proof final. Tapes of confessions. Alexander growled, pocketing the drive. Isabella in the squad car banged her head on glass. No, destroy it! Cops pulled away, her screams fading. Sophia bandaged her arm roughly, adrenaline crashing, but resolve iron. We have it all. Expose it to presser tomorrow. Allies gathered, Marco arriving breathless. Heard the bust. Add my tapes. Evidence stacked. Ledgers, videos, witnesses. Alexander hugged Sophia fierce, blood mingling. Saved you, just in time. She pulled back, eyes steel. Saved us. Now vac tran them. Paramedics hauled Lena away, but she yelled back. Press conference, nail 'em. Night pulsed with cop chatter, evidence sealed in bags. But the drive burned in Alexander's pocket like fire. Ultimate weapon against the Empire's core. Yet Victoria lurked free, phone buzzing in his hand. Son, come home. We talk. Trap or surrender. Evidence armed them. Showdown looming at dawn. Traitors, all of you! Victoria's bellow thundered across the packed press conference hall, her fist pounding the podium as flashbulbs exploded like gunfire, reporters surging forward. Sophia stood tall beside Alexander, evidence drive clutched in her bloodied hand, eyes piercing Victoria's like lasers. Traitors? You rigged deaths for dollars. Confess! Victoria lunged across the stage, claws out for the drive, but Alexander intercepted, shoulder-checking her hard, sending her staggering into the backdrop with a rip. "Mother, your ledger's out. Embezzlement. Murders logged cold." He thrust the laptop screen forward, projections beaming the black book pages large. Names crossed, payoffs detailed, crashes itemized. Reporters gasped, microphones thrusting like spears. "Mrs. Harrington, comment on the crashes?" One shouted, but Victoria whirled, voice shredding air. "Lies! That Maid forged it! Harlem scum twisting facts!" Sophia charged, slapping the drive onto the podium with a crack. "Scum! Play the tape!" Button smashed, speakers blared Isabella's voice. "Cut brakes, collateral cleared." Victoria's echo. "Approve! Empire thrives!" Crowd erupted, shouts overlapping. "Murder! Resign!" Victoria's face drained white, hands trembling as she snatched the mic. "Shut it off! Security! Drag them out!" Guards rushed stage, but Alexander body-slammed one, fist connecting jaw with a snap. "See the videos!" he yelled, cueing clips. Isabella in warehouses, ordering rigs. Victoria on calls, nodding kills. Sophia grabbed a guard's arm, twisting it back until he yelped, dropping his baton. "Proof's iron. Your empire crumbles." Reporters filmed frantic, phones aloft. Victoria dove for the laptop, smashing it against the floor, shards flying, but backups projected unbroken. "Offshore vaults, millions stolen," Sophia roared, pointing accusations. "My parents slaughtered for your greed." Victoria's knees buckled, but she rose, snarling. "Greed? Survival? You outsiders never understand elite burdens." She clawed at Sophia, nails raking cheek, blood drawing. Sophia head-butted back, forehead cracking lip, Victoria spitting red. "Burden? Genocide for cash, black lives disposable." Alexander pinned Victoria's arms, voice booming over speakers. "Confession taped. Witnesses here." Marco stepped from crowd, tape raised. "I fixed those trucks. On your orders." Crowd surged, chants rising. "Justice! Arrest her!" Cops stormed in, badges flashing, cuffing Victoria mid-struggle. "You're done!" one barked. Isabella, dragged on stage in chains from custody, screamed, "Victoria, save me!" But Victoria turned, betrayal flashing. "You botched it! Take the fall!" Isabella kicked free momentarily, lunging at her, fists flying in a tangle of hair and slaps. "You planned it all!" Cops separated them, drags rough, screams echoing. Reporters mobbed Sophia and Alexander, questions firing rapid. "How'd you uncover?" Sophia held up the drive. "Truth wins. Expose the rot." Alexander nodded, arm around her. "Family's legacy, rebuilt clean." Hall thrummed with chaos, flashes blinding, but exposure sealed. Empire shattered, justice clawing victory from lies. Yet as cuffs clicked, Victoria's glare promised vengeance from shadows, final threads unraveling into dawn's reckoning. "Rot in hell, you witch!" Isabella's curse spat through the courtroom bars as cuffs bit her wrists, her kick landing on Victoria's shin with a sharp crack, drawing blood. Victoria whirled, nails raking Isabella's face. "You sold me out. Take the fall alone." The older woman's voice shredded air, eyes bulging hate, but guards yanked them apart, bodies slamming benches. Judge's gavel pounded like thunder. "Order! Defendants, face your crimes!" Evidence projected huge, ledgers scrolling deaths, tapes blaring confessions. Victoria lunged at the screen, fist shattering glass, shards cutting her palm red. "Fabricated! That Maid twisted it!" Sophia rose from witness stand, finger jabbing accusation. "Twisted? Your signatures. Murders for millions." Isabella broke free momentarily, charging Sophia, elbow cracking her jaw. "Liar! Harlem rat!" Sophia reeled, taste of blood fueling her swing, fist connecting Isabella's nose with a crunch. "Rat! You rigged my parents' end?" Guards piled on, drags rough, Isabella's screams echoing. "Victoria planned it. I executed." Victoria turned on her, betrayal knifing deep. "Executed? You botched, greedy slut!" She headbutted Isabella's shoulder, bone popping, both women tumbling in a heap of slaps and gouges. Cops separated them again, cuffs tightening until skin tore. "Confess!" Alexander shouted from the gallery, voice booming. "Empire's rot. Exposed." Prosecutor thrust files forward. Ledgers confirm. Embezzlement, rigged crashes, payoffs. Dozens dead. Victoria's laugh barked hollow. Dozens? Sacrifices for legacy. But jury's eyes hardened, nods rippling. Isabella spat blood. Legacy? You skimmed half. Offshore for your escapes. Victoria's knee jerked up, grazing Isabella's gut. Lies! You pocketed more. Clash intensified. Guards struggling as women clawed free again, hair pulling, fists flying in raw fury. You betrayed first, Isabella roared, choking Victoria's neck briefly before tasers crackled, bodies convulsing. Judge slammed gavel repeatedly. Guilty! Life sentences! No parole! Victoria collapsed, sobs racking. My empire gone! Isabella sneered through pain. Ours ruined by your spawn. Alexander stood tall. Justice, finally. Knots untied, offshore funds seized, witnesses freed from threats, families compensated. Goons turned state's evidence, spilling more. Rigged trucks, silenced mechanics. Sophia gripped the rail, bruises throbbing but triumph burning. Pay, every drop. Victoria's glare met hers last. You'll regret. But cell doors clanged shut, echoing finality. All threads resolved. Empire dismantled, assets frozen, victims' graves honored. Yet as guards hauled them away, Isabella's whisper to Victoria hissed venom. We rot together. Conflict peaked in their mutual destruction, justice clawing victory, paving redemption's path. Take your empire's blood money and choke! Sophia's roar blasted across the Harlem Community Center steps as she hurled a check back at Alexander, paper crumpling in her fist, eyes flaming defiance. He caught it midair, knuckles whitening around the edges. Blood money? This rebuilds. New foundation, clean slate. She charged him, finger jabbing his chest hard enough to bruise. Clean? Your name's poison. Harlem won't touch it. Alexander gripped her wrist, holding firm, breath hot. Then rename it Sophia's Legacy Fund. Scholarships, art programs, truck safety reforms, millions redirected from seized assets. Sophia's pull yanked free, but she paused, chest heaving, scars from the fight itching fresh. Reforms? You think cash erases graves? He stepped closer, voice dropping lethal. No, action does. Launch today. Fund every denied applicant from our old files, starting with you. Crowd gathered, elders nodding, kids clutching brushes from her classes. Lena, arm in sling, shoved forward. Do it, Soph. Turn their rot into roots. Sophia's jaw clenched, nails digging palms. But she snatched the check back. Fine, but I run it. No Harrington strings. Alexander nodded sharp, pulling out his phone, dialing lawyers mid-stride. Transfer now. Offshore vaults cracked. Funds flowing to Harlem centers. Wires hummed, screens lighting with transfers, millions pouring in, art supplies ordered, scholarships awarded on the spot. A teen gasped, hugging Sophia. My college, paid? She knelt, gripping the girl's shoulders. Yours and more. We build unbreakable. Alexander barked orders into the line. Safety audits on all charity fleets, brakes triple-checked, no cuts ever. Reporters swarmed, mics thrusting. Mr. Harrington, atoning for family sins? Sins, obliterating them, he snarled, shoving a mic away. New board, Sophia chairs, community vote seats. Sophia stood tall, voice booming over heads. This fund heals. Art therapy for crash survivors, jobs for silenced mechanics. Marco stepped up, tools in hand. I'll train him. Safe rigs only. Donations surged, phones pinging alerts. Elite donors shamed into matching. Alexander wired his personal fortune chunk, deed signing over Hampton's properties for Harlem housing. Sell 'em, proceeds to victim's kin. Sophia's eyes met his, walls crumbling slight. Why all this? Redemption, yours to wield, he pressed, handing her the gavel from court symbolically. Hammer the change. She swung it playfully at his arm, connecting light. Don't slack, or I hammer you. Laughter rippled, but resolve burned. Programs launched. Art exhibits honoring dead, safety workshops, packing rooms, scholarships lifting dozens. Elders blessed the groundbreaking for new center wing, shovels biting earth. From ashes, strength, one murmured, Sophia's hand on his. Alexander labored beside, sweat mixing with dirt, back aching from loads. Earn it daily. Rivals emerged, old foundation cronies suing, but Sophia crushed them in court, evidence wielded like blades. Months blurred. Fun grew, impacting thousands. Black youth graduating debt-free. Trucks retrofitted nationwide. Sophia's speech at Gala. We rise not despite scars, because. Alexander stood back, pride swelling, his atonement forging bonds unbreakable. Yet as crowds cheered, a new threat whispered, anonymous notes hinting deeper conspirators. But hope armored them, action propelling forward. Build your own prison. I'm done with your chains. Sophia's defiance exploded at the ribbon-cutting ceremony, her scissors slashing the ceremonial tape with a vicious snip, eyes locked on Alexander like daggers forged in fire. He grabbed her arm, pulling her close amid cheers, breath ragged. Chains? The center's freedom. Your vision. Our fight won. She twisted free but gripped his collar instead, yanking him nearer, crowd gasping. Won? Scars don't fade with bricks. Alexander's hand covered hers, squeezing hard. Then wear 'em proud. We rebuild together. Harlem's streets thrummed with life around them. Kids splashed paint on new murals. Elders hammered plaques honoring the dead. Lena directing traffic with her healed arm. Whistle shrill. Sophia released him, stepping back, chest rising fierce. Together, prove it. Step down from the fun board now. He nodded instant, microphone thrust forward. I resign. Sophia leads unchallenged. Applause thundered, but she shoved him aside playfully, voice booming. This ain't just walls. It's armor against greed. Scholarships flow, art heals wounds, safety reforms lock killers out. Marco revved a retrofitted truck nearby, horn blaring triumph. No more rigged rides. Harlem drives safe. Sophia climbed aboard, pulling Alexander up, engine growling. Test it. Feel the strength we forged. Tires gripped pavement, speeding through blocks, wind-whipping hair, her laugh cutting sharp. Faster. Outrun the past. Back at the center, Gala unfolded. Tables groaned under feasts, survivors sharing stories, fists bumping in solidarity. A teen approached Sophia, canvas in hand, painting of shattered pearls reforming into crowns. For you, Queen of Comeback. Tears stung her eyes, wiped savage. Queen, we're all royals now. No more maids in shadows. Alexander pulled her into a dance, bodies sinking amid rhythms, his whisper hot. Love you, beyond atonement. She bit his ear lightly. Prove it daily, or I bolt. Laughter mingled, but depth burned. Their bonds sealed in battles, family reborn from ashes, Lena as sister, Marco as uncle, community as kin. Subplots resolved. Denied applicants graduated, walking stages with diplomas like shields. Silenced witnesses spoke at panels, voices unshackled. Offshore funds repatriated, building homes where wrecks once claimed lives. Alexander sold the Hamptons mansion, proceeds funding global reforms. Break laws tightened worldwide. Charities audited ruthless. Yet threats lingered. Anonymous calls hissed warnings. Old cronies plotting revenge. Sophia crushed one intruder's hand in a door slam. Try us. We crush back. Alexander backed her, gun drawn hidden. United, unbreakable. Community rallied, patrols forming, eyes vigilant. Final scene etched. Sophia and Alexander atop the center roof. Harlem skyline sprawling, her head on his shoulder, stars piercing night. Lesson burned deep, she murmured, fist over heart. Dignity triumphs over division. Love conquers greed, justice rebuilds from ruins. He kissed her fierce, sealing vow. Rise eternal, no fall unchallenged. Crowd below chanted names, lights flickering hope. Sub-threads tied. Lena's wedding at the center, Marco's garage thriving, Kids' art exhibited nationally. Moral crystallized. In America's shadows, courage exposes rot. Unity forges futures. Black lives not collateral, but crown jewels. Empire's fall birthed renaissance. Scars badges of victory, path ahead illuminated by unyielding light. In the end, this story reminds us that true wealth lies not in power or privilege, but in the courage to stand against injustice, the dignity to rise above cruelty, and the love that bridges divides, proving that kindness and integrity can shatter even the strongest barriers of prejudice. If this tale touched your heart, share your thoughts or your own stories of overcoming adversity in the comments below. We'd love to hear how it resonates with you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next inspiring story.